Mr. Page, it is now 5:30.
Okay, we would call the meeting to order of the Natchitoches Parish government, and if the clerk, Mrs. Patrick, would you please call the roll, please?
Okay. Mr. Page? Mrs. Hoover?
Here.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Here.
Mr. Cheatwood? Here. Mr. Salter?
Here.
All present.
Mr. Salter, would you please lead us in the invocation? I will. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the day, all our blessings. Ask you to be with us, lead, guide, and direct us today in this meeting. May all things that we do, let's lift you up in this dear Jesus. Forgive us when we fail. In Jesus' name, amen. Mr. Salter. Mr. Cheatwood, would you lead us in a pledge? But we need everybody to mute their phone while he do the pledge, and so she can record it good.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty, and justice for all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cheatwood. The first order of business would be the election of officers, Mr. Kilcorn. Mr. Kilcorn said that he didn't care to do that, and that position is still available. Can we open the floor for a possible vice chairperson?
Do we have any volunteers?
Go ahead on, Chris. I'll take it. Okay. Make a motion that we close off. Invitation guests and special presentation with their meeting.
I didn't receive any. And also, Mr. Page, I need to make a statement so it can be on the record so we... The Lord.
Yes, sir, I'm here. Y'all have my reports, but I'd like to also add that we got the bridge on Forest Road. We got it finished and opened back up. When we do get back to work, we're going to get on the one on Shady Grove, get it started back. My crews are ready and standing waiting for the bad weather. Anything that would come up, trees or roads or bridges or anything, we're ready to go. We got some grading and stuff done. We got the loop, of course, in Goldanna. We got it fixed and passable. It's good to go. If y'all have any questions, feel free to ask.
Okay, anybody have any questions, Mr. Lord?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. The next would be the Office of Community Service, Ms. Sharon Harris.
Good afternoon to everyone. You all have my report that was mailed out to you for the month of January 2021. Do you have any questions at this time? However, I'd like to kind of touch points on some of the services that we are offering during that month. For instance, one of the biggest services we're doing right now is our low-income home energy assistance program, which we normally call Lease. And we have served, for cooling, we served 15 households totaling $17,550. However, for our heating, 2021 heating, we served in the month of January 145 households totaling $64,050. And with crisis, which is normally for those folks who are facing disconnect, who have past due amounts that's going to help them, we help them to keep them from facing being disconnected. And some of those folks who are facing disconnect. We served 47 households totaling $15,131.75. So we're really busy doing those services. We're asking folks to continue giving us a call. You know, everything does not happen overnight. So it would take us a little while to process eligibility for those folks. And for our commodity programs, we are a little bit down on our numbers, but we're thinking it's going to pick up. But because of the pandemic and as well as the weather, our numbers have been down. So you have any questions?
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Harris. The next is the Parish Treasurer, Ms. Julie Lockhart.
Good evening, everyone. Included in the packet of information that I sent out to all the council is a check register that shows all the checks that were issued in the month of January. Other information, we don't have any budget amendments for this meeting, but I would like to add that Kathy Creamer and I did go into the office today to make sure that payroll was processed. It has been completed. Our parish employees should receive their pay Friday as long as the bank doesn't have any problem. But it has been pushed to the bank, so even if we have a tremendous loss of power, we should have our payroll paid to our employees. So anything, any questions, anything I can help with?
I do have a couple of questions, Mr. Lockhart, and in reference to the check register as well, but I am not going to take the time by phone in order to do this. I know everybody, got some things that they need to do as well, especially with this weather. So I will bring those, call you, and I will bring them before the council next month.
That'll be fine, Ms. Hoover. Just let me know what you need.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Ms. Hoover. Moving right along. Anybody else have any questions, Ms. Lockhart? Thank you, Ms. Julie. Will be the Interim Director of Planning and Zoning, Mr. David Keys.
Mr. Keys is not on the
Yes,
call
sir.
tonight, isn't it?
I'm actually here, Mr. Page. I do apologize. I've got a kind of noisy environment behind me. Travel restrictions were, I was unable to get to a quieter place, but I am here, and if anybody has any questions, I'll do my best to hear them and answer them.
Okay.
Well, David, may I be recognized, Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
Okay. We have talked about the planning and zoning director and about some changes that need to be made if the council approves, but we're going to put it on the agenda for next month as well.
Absolutely.
Because we are doing everything by phone.
Yes, ma'am, and just to let everybody on the council know, I plan to, if we can, weather permitting later this week, no later than early next week, I'm going to start sending out information through Ms. Frederick to all of you, and hopefully getting you some good information that if you've got questions, you can ask me. I will certainly make some people from IBTS available as well for you to ask questions of them if you'd like to.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Do we need to vote on number 7, or we just go on to number 8? Number 8. Okay. We'll just go on to number 8, and if we need to vote on it.
You don't have to vote on the report.
Okay. Yeah, just a report. Okay. Okay. Number 8 will be Parish President, Mr. John Richmond.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, everyone. You've got my report, but there's a couple of things that we probably ought to talk about, some late-breaking things. Obviously, the weather is one. I want to let everyone know that, of course, we'd already told you that the courthouse would be closed today for weather. After talking with the DA and the sheriff, it looks like we will be closed again tomorrow, but the business of the parish continues. We're all still working. We all still have our cell phones, and we're in communication with each other. So, of course, if there are any needs, do what you usually do and call the sheriff's department, or you can feel free to call and leave a message. But the courthouse itself will, of course, be closed tomorrow, and we will take Thursday as it comes. We'll see how it goes, but we'll come out with a public notice about Thursday tomorrow. The next thing I'd like to talk about that is not on the report is that our COVID numbers were down last week, and they were below the 5% threshold across the parish, which is a good thing. If they are down below 5% again in the report that comes out tomorrow, that will allow the bars throughout the parish. And we don't have that many bars in Natchitoches Parish. We have about a half a dozen, but it would allow them to open at 25% capacity. And this is just an awareness for you guys so that it'll be a part of the record, and you'll know that hopefully tomorrow, if we have the numbers down below 5% again, that we will opt out, as is allowed by the governor's mandate, so that we can allow those businesses to reopen. Other than that, there are several items. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That is something from the governor's office. That's not something that we were to vote on. Am I understanding that?
That is correct. That is correct. After talking with the DA, there's no need for a vote from the council. That's part of the governor's mandate, and it's just part of the process. If we get below 5% for 2 consecutive weeks, we can reopen those businesses. And the last thing is, there's a number of things on the report that will also be covered in the rest of the agenda items. But I specifically wanted to make mention of a flyer that I put in the packet this month. It's from Natchitoches Regional Medical Center, and there's a lot of confusion about how to call, how to get online, how to get your name on the list for the vaccine. That is out there. It's part of the packet this month. Feel free to share that across your districts. And those of you in the media, feel free, and please do share this often so that folks can know what they need to do to get on Natchitoches Regional Hospital's list of COVID-19 vaccine recipients. It is not a first come, first served waiting list. It all goes by age and health conditions, and those are things that are being mandated by the federal government. That's all I have.
Mr. Chairman,
I have a,
I wanted to mention to Richmond, make everybody aware that the bin sites will be closed throughout the parish tomorrow.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Salter. The bin sites will be closed tomorrow, and just like the courthouse, we'll take it as it comes for the weather tomorrow and see if Thursday will allow us to open. But for now, the bin sites are closed tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Salter.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Moving on to number 9.
no, I was asking if I could, are you acknowledging me?
Go ahead. Do you have any question? What your question for Mr.?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I do. I have a question. I have a question and a statement, and I'm just going to move on with it. Mr. President, I didn't see anything in your report in reference to that Funny and Loader opinion by the DA and our attorney. And I know I'm not an attorney. However, the opinion that I received, I didn't agree with it because it's just an opinion. And, you know, we all have one. And in that opinion, it stated that the amendment budget superseded the vote against the purchase of the loader. And what I'm saying is that is the case, why, and this is my question to the president, if that is the case, why the other agenda item was added to buy a front-end loader, and who added it, and I just want those two answers to go on record, please. And I will pick it up for next month because I will come before the council and ask the council to go before the Attorney General, and we will follow the Home Rule Charter as it states by going to the Attorney General for an opinion if the council vote to do so. But those two questions, Mr. President, if you would please answer those, because I'd like for that to go on record, please.
The one question was who added the second agenda item. I don't know the answer to that, but I can research it and see what I can find out. What was your first question? I thought it was just that you disagreed with the opinion, but I may have missed something.
The opinion, it stated in the opinion that the amended budget ordinance superseded the vote against the purchase of the loader. So I'm saying if that is the case, why the other agenda was added on that agenda, and I wanted to know who added it.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. No, but let me say this. I'm just saying this, and I'm not going to be long with it. If the opinion that was given by the DA and our attorney that it superseded the purchase, superseded that budget amendment, then I just didn't understand if it superseded, why was the agenda item, you just said, it's superseded, so we don't need it on the agenda. Why was it there? I don't think any council member put it on. No council member put it on. So I'm just asking, why was it there? I just want the council to be clear. I don't want the council to be blamed for this. They did not put it on the agenda. So who put it on the agenda?
I don't know.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
All right.
Go ahead, Mr. Salter.
I want Ms. Hoover, our clerk should know. She was notified to put it on there. She ought to be able to answer that question for you.
Okay.
Ask her, and I'll back up.
Miss Frederick, who?
Yes, ma'am.
Who added this to the agenda?
I got an email from the treasurer, Miss Julie Lockhart, to add it onto it.
Okay.
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 Okay, and you said you're going to address this next month, Ms. Hoover?
I am, and thank you, Mr. Page, for allowing me to just make a statement and find out, because I just don't want the council to be, on the line for something. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else have
Thank
any other comments? Okay. That is, we were moving to number 9, I think, and that's the end of number 8. Okay. Adopt the minutes of the regular meeting held, the Natchitoches Parish Council, Tuesday, January 19th, 2021.
I'll offer that, Mr. Page.
And I'll second.
Okay.
Mr. Salter,
Yes.
Ms. Hoover,
Yes.
Mr. Page,
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn,
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood. Yes. Pass.
Okay, number 10, of the appointment of the boards and commissions, consider adopting a resolution confirming appointments to the following boards and commissions. A would be council to confirm the appointment of Mr. Anthony Moore to replace Mr. Laney Wright on the Natchitoches Parish Planning Commission.
I'll offer.
I'll second.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
was that Mr. Page seconded?
Yes, I second that.
Okay. Mr. Kilcorn,
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood,
Yes.
Mr. Salter,
No.
pass.
Okay. Number B would be consider confirming the reappointment of Mr. Clyde Masson to the Waterway District number 2 board.
Over.
I'll second.
Mr. Salter,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Mr. Page,
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn,
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood,
Yes.
pass.
Okay. Number C would be council to consider confirming the appointment of Mrs. Carol O'Quinn to replace Mr. Louis O'Quinn on the Waterworks Board number 2.
All over.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Mr. Salter,
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood,
Yes.
Mr. Page,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn,
Yes.
pass.
Okay. D, council to consider confirming the appointment of Mrs. Carletta Jones to replace Mr. James Anthony on the Waterworks District number 2 board.
I'll offer.
I'll make that offer.
Okay, I'll second it.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Mr. Salter,
Yes.
Mr. Page,
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn,
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood,
Yes.
pass.
Mr. Chairman, if I may make a comment, please. It's just a
Go
short
ahead.
one.
Go ahead, Ms. Hoover.
I just want to say that Mr. James Anthony has passed, and so did Mr. Louis O'Quinn, and just want to give their family some kudos for their serving the number of years that they did for for this parish. And I'm proud to see that his wife as well as his daughter serve on these committees.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hoover. It's kind of hard to say Mr. James Anthony because we all know him as JW.
JW, yes.
And we certainly will miss him, miss both of them actually, and also Mr. Laney Wright. Moving on to number E would be Council to consider confirming the reappointment of Mr. Joseph Jones to the Fire District 1 Board.
I'll offer, Chris.
Thank you, Ms. Salter.
I'll second, Chris.
Okay.
Mr. Salter,
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood,
Yes.
Ms. Page,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Ms. Kilcorn,
Yes.
pass.
Okay, thank you. F will be Council to consider confirming the reappointment of Mr. Lamar McGaskey to the Fire District Board number 1.
I'll offer, Chris. Ms. Page.
Thank you,
And
Ms.
I'll
Hoover.
second.
Thank you, Ms. Hoover.
Mr. Salter,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Ms. Page,
Yes.
Ms. Kilcorn,
Yes.
Mrs. Cheatwood,
Yes.
pass.
Okay, number G would be Council to consider confirming reappointment of Mr. Ricky Sanders to the Fire District number 1 Board.
I'll offer.
Melissa Comer.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Salter,
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood,
Yes.
Ms. Page,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn,
Yes.
pass.
Okay, H will be the final one. It's Council to consider confirming the appointment of Mr. Dwayne Colston to replace Mr. Laney Wright on the Fire District number 1 Board.
I'll offer.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Mr. Salter,
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood,
Yes.
Ms. Page,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Ms. Kilcorn,
Yes.
pass.
Okay, number 11, the first introduction of proposed ordinance. The A, Council to approve introduction of ordinance 003/2021 to affect the zone change of industrial agricultural district to a business 3 district for the purpose of establishing a gym with a restaurant and coffee shop on a 1.350 acre tract of land, parcel number 00501347008. The property is located in section 26, T9N, R10W, with physical address of 10173 Highway 120 in Roebling, as shown on the survey attached hereto, approved by the Parish Planning and Zoning on February the 1st, 2021.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, Ms. Owen.
David still on the line?
Yes, sir, I am.
Is that the old school building site that they're proposing to do this?
No, sir, I believe that what actually used to be there was a garage.
I can't remember the name of the gentleman that sold it to him, but he used it as like a car repair shop. That's the that they're using it on.
Okay.
Okay. B would be council to approve the introduction of ordinance 004-2021.
Chris.
Yes.
You need to go ahead and vote on this. This is not public hearing. You can have to vote on A.
We need to vote on that. I'm sorry.
I'll offer.
I'll second it.
Okay.
That was Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Pass.
Okay. Sorry about that. Now we're moving on to B. Council to approve introduction of ordinance 004-2021 to affect the zone change from an industrial agriculture district to a business 3 district for the purpose of establishing a convenience store on a 2.51 acre tract of land, parcel number 004-0007600A. The property is located in the section 14T 11N R7W with physical address along Highway 9 in Kent, as shown on the survey attached here to, approved by the Parish Planning and Zoning on February the 1st, 2021. Have a motion? Second.
That was Mr. Salter who offered?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
Mr. Salter?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Page?
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Pass.
Okay. Number C would be the council to consider introduction of ordinance 005-2021, revision to the Natchitoches Parish Personnel Manual. So we talk about this next month. How do we do this?
Let's table it. I make an offer that we table it.
Well, it's just for discussion, so I don't even know what it's pertaining to. Is it about the holiday?
Okay. No, this is about the revising of the ordinance for the personnel manual, isn't it?
Yeah, and that also includes the holidays, Mrs. Hoover. I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So if I make an offer, I make the offer to table it until next month.
Well.
So that we have an opportunity. I'm letting the council, vote on it to see what they're going to say,
But Ms. Hoover, it's just we're going to go into discussion next month on it. That's all that. So it doesn't have to, for as tabling it, you don't have to do that. We're not, the vote is just to have a discussion next month on it.
Well, it's just a lot of information. That's just me. I'm just one vote. And it's just me. And I'm just asking to see whatever the council says.
Okay, well, motion's on the floor. Anybody want to say that? Now the motion is on the floor as it is, and since I think that particular tabling has died for like a second, or somebody second.
No, it died for lack of second.
Second.
Okay. Well, now I need the
But
motion.
there's nothing you can do.
Basically, be able to discuss it. I think it went into the fact of the some holidays. If we put these things in place, it's fine to have a vacation day, but you're talking about money, and you're talking about a whole lot of money for some. I don't know. It's for discussion next Monday. We can get into more of the details of it. That's what they were trying to do, I believe. Because I think it had something to do with the Martin Luther King holiday and some other holidays that people were ordinarily off, but we're talking about possibly paying them for those times off. And I think it's 3 or 4 of them if you look at the agenda item.
I thought we were going to discuss it later, Mr. Page. We don't have time to discuss it now.
That's what I'm talking about. So we need to make a motion and move on. That's all that's it.
Yeah, it died for lack of...
that we move on.
Okay, so...
Because it died in the lack of seconds.
Okay, point of order. Ms. Hoover, your table died of a lack of second. But this agenda item, someone needs to offer a second or nobody does it. But we need to get something on this agenda item.
That's right. That's what I was simply saying. I'll make a motion if it needs to be made a motion.
I'll make a second.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn?
No.
Mrs. Hoover?
No.
Mr. Salter?
What are we voting on?
You voting on the introduction of it to go over to next month for public hearing.
Oh, I thought it died for lack of second.
No.
Well, Ms. Hoover tabled died for the lack of second. But now Mr. Page offered for it to go over to public hearing for next month. Mr. Cheatwood second. Mr. Kilcorn said no. Ms. Hoover said no. Now it's your turn.
I say no.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
It didn't pass.
Okay. So it's done deal. Okay. Public hearing now. You can make a motion to go into public hearing to hear.
I make a motion that we go into public hearing.
Okay. And we're going into public hearing on 2 different matters.
I'll second.
A and B.
Okay, Ms. Hoover?
Yeah.
Was that you, Mr. Kilcorn, seconded?
Yes, it was.
Okay, Mr. Kilcorn?
And I vote yes.
Okay, Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Okay, public hearing is open. You can read them now, Mr. Page.
Okay. B. A is consider adopting ordinance 001-2021 to affect the zone change of industrial agriculture district to business 1 district for the purpose of establishing a cultural center on a 3.29 tract of land, portion number 004 0029400. The property is located in a section of 14 and 15 T10N R6W with a physical address of 1458 Highway 1226 in Natchitoches, as shown on the survey attached here too. Approved by the Parish Planning and Zoning, January the 4th, 2021. The floor is open for that discussion, and I think that is the one. I think that's one we talked about, Mr. Salter. I think it was your family member, possibly family member.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Anybody try to discuss anything about it, or we just need to move on?
Move on.
Well, it's open to the floor. They can do whatever they want, but I think all mine, I was just relaying that we did talk about it last month.
Yes, we did.
And that is number A. So, I mean, if anybody any comments, there's now's the time. Okay.
We're gonna vote on both of them after we come out.
After we come out of that, yes. So, B is there's no comments on A. B would be council to consider adopting ordinance 002/2021, establishing an intent fire prevention district for Natchitoches Parish Fire Protection District number 6 is hereby established. It is the intent of the Bureau to prescribe regulations consistent with revised provision of Louisiana RS 40-1563, as well as the regulation consistent with the national recognized good practice for the safeguarding of, to the reasonable degree of life and property for the hazards of fire and explosive arise from the storage, handling, and use of hazardous substance, material, and device, and from condition hazardous to life, property, in the use of occupants of the building or premise. The most current Louisiana state adopted revision of fire life safety codes will be the minimum code, which will be utilized by the Bureau to be established. So if anybody have any questions or anything on that, it's just to...
That only, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go ahead.
Anybody there can answer this question. That only affects Fire District 6.
Mr. Chairman, this is Chief Cesspool. Can I be recognized?
Say that again?
This is Fire Chief Cesspool. Can I be recognized a second?
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Michael Cesspool, Fire Chief of Fire District 6. Mr. Salter, to answer your question, that is correct. It will only affect Fire District 6. I also have Captain Corey Leo, who's my fire prevention officer, on the line in this meeting as well, just in case you guys had any questions. As I spoke to you in the introduction last meeting, this is really a formality as we kind of went through this process in 2019, and in the final stage here realized that we needed an ordinance as well as a resolution. We've already kind of been practicing as if this was in play, and the primary purpose of this, aside from progressing our fire district, is to advance our property insurance rating. This will provide additional credit towards that. And I'll be happy to answer any questions as well as Captain Leo, who is our fire prevention officer.
Okay, it's John Salter again. Does the rest of the fire districts need to look into doing this for each district? If somebody's tearing a building down, if we have an idea maybe that there's some hazardous material in it, asbestos and so forth, would they be able to monitor these sites for us?
Mr. Salter, I believe that would probably be something that would fall under the scope of probably the EPA, if you will, or Department of Environmental Quality. What the primary purpose of this Bureau is to establish life safety inspections of the current commercial structures, which is basic to making sure all exits and thoroughfares are clear. There's no combustibles stored near flammable mechanical rooms, things like that. And fire extinguishers are present and ready to go. Those are kind of some of the basics. Captain Leo, you have anything you want to add to that?
No, that's exactly right, Chief Cesspool. This is for Fire District 6 only, once again. And as far as all the other fire districts, they are absolutely welcome to look in to start their own bureau. All of that needs to be done in conjunction with the state fire marshal's office. So any other fire district in Natchitoches Parish that wishes to do this, they just need to contact the state fire marshal's office and be in touch with them, and they can walk them through the steps of what they would have to do, as Chief Cesspool has done at Fire District 6.
Okay, I appreciate
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think, Mr. Salter, also, when we had the meeting, I think I did ask him about the fact that if any other districts wanted to learn or needed some assistance with knowing what they're doing for improvement out there, and he also said he was willing to help in any way that he could to help other fire districts. That's correct.
Yeah, we did.
I stand up and say that statement again. I'll be happy to assist any of the fire districts out there with this process or any other process that pertains, especially in particular to the property insurance rating. I do have quite a bit of experience in that and be happy to assist in any way. Okay, well, thank you so much. Is there any other comments that need to be discussed on these two matters, A and B?
I move that we come out of public hearing.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay.
Mrs. Hoover?
Oh.
Yeah.
Ms. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Ms. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Public hearing is closed.
Okay. Within the requisition of what we just accomplished, I need an offer on number A, would be to create the culture center out in the different district.
District 4. Second.
Okay.
I didn't get the offer. Who offered it?
I did. Mr. Kilcoyne did.
Okay. Ms. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Pass.
Okay. Now we need the fire protection bureau started.
I'll make the offer. I'll make the offer.
I'll second.
Fire District number 6.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, this is Roger Call. You hear me?
Hold on a second, Roger. Let us get through with B, then we'll come back.
Okay.
Okay, who made the second? I couldn't hear the second.
I did. Cheatwood.
Okay, Mrs. Hoover? I'm sorry.
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Pass.
Okay, if we would, I know it's a little bit out of line, but we appreciate what you're trying to achieve out there, Mr. Roger. And if you would, you can enlighten us a little bit. You want to make a comment relating to the culture center?
Yes, sir. On our survey, I heard y'all say 3.2 acres is 5.2 acres.
It's 5.2 acres?
Yes.
Yeah. Has the number
Okay.
changed? It's been that way all along.
It's been that way all along when I first turned it into y'all.
Okay.
So what happens on this ordinance, because we've approved for 3, so how do we go back? Where's the attorney? How do we go back and make those changes? Where's the attorney?
I'm online.
Is the attorney on the line, Chris?
Yes, he's on the line. He's trying to make a comment. Do we need to amend what we voted on, or do we need to do this all over? I don't know how the numbers got so conflicted here.
I think you have to introduce the ordinance again and go through the process.
Oh,
So we would have to go through the whole process again?
okay. Can I interrupt again? This is Roger.
Go ahead.
I don't know if this got something to do with it. When the beginning, before we got it surveyed all, I donated 2 acres to them, so I made it 5.2. But it's always been on the survey. It's been there since I turned it into y'all in the beginning, because I've been dealing with Mr. Keys, and I turn everything in like I'm supposed to and everything, but it's always been
this was voted on, Mr. Roger. This was voted on planning and zoning. Did it come? So this came from planning and zoning. Mr. Keys as 3.2.
That's a good question, Chris.
It supposed to came 5.2. I started off with 5.2.
Mr. Chairman.
Are you still on the line?
Mr. Chairman.
I just text him to get back on.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
Mr. Chairman, this is Stephen.
Yeah.
This is Stephen Mansfield.
Okay.
If we could I look into that? There may be an explanation that 2 acres was already designated, and this is simply adding some additional. If that's the case, we would not have to change that. If the council will allow me to do some investigation and talk with Mr. Keys, we may be able to clarify that.
Okay, well, there's no dissension in the matter, I believe, but they just wanted to be a clear part of exactly what transpired, and it needs to be a good public record of the matter. And I think the vote can stand for now, and we can move on to the next agenda item. Mr. Roger,
I think you're correct.
We will get in contact with you and make sure that he know everything that transpired. And we appreciate you, Mr. Roger, for interjecting at that process.
Okay. So, in other words, we didn't get approved tonight until y'all looked into all this?
Right.
Well,
you can't approve something that is good.
The attorney is saying he's going to look into it, and it may not be something that we need to readdress. But either way it goes, we will get in contact with you and let you know. And I don't think anyone was opposed to the matter, and that's a good sign right there. So I think we're heading in the right direction. And appreciate what you're doing out there, Roger.
Okay, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.
Okay, Chris, can I make a statement, please?
Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, and I just heard the attorney, and I know we want to be very careful about how we handle ordinance, and maybe, and the lawyer's still there, we can maybe vote on making the necessary changes for this ordinance 04-2021 if needed. You know, that way we haven't approved, because we have to actually say whether it's approved or not approved, because Cheryl has all of this documented. So something needs to be said in between to say that we are making the necessary changes. That says that if it's an error by way of whatever, that it can be changed. And your attorney is standing there and see what he says. Because I think something needs to be put in place. Where's our attorney?
Ms. Hoover?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Mr. Mensa.
It is my understanding,
David,
that the council... Go ahead, I'll let David talk.
Okay.
David, there's a discretion. Mr. On the ordinance for the culture center out there, we have it as 3.29 acre tract, and he's saying that it was 5.2 tracts of land. And so we've approved it already, voted on it, but we want to make sure that the record reflects the exact acreage tract of land out there.
Yes, sir, and I don't have it in front of me, but I do remember that Mr. Collum actually submitted a survey that was for about a total of 5 acres, but he was actually subdividing off 3 acres from it and leaving another 2, I think, for himself, and donating the 3 acres to the Butte tribe for their cultural center. So I don't think it's going to be the entire 5 acres that's shown on the survey. It'll just be that 3.
Uh-oh. The 2.51, you mean, or the 3?
It's 3.51.
How many acres? 2.5 or
3? It's 3.2. Then I gave them 2 acres.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm is it 2 or is it 3? Because I'm looking at the ordinance. Which is it? 2 or 3? David?
It's going to be what the ordinance says, because I took the exact acreage from the surveyed lot that the cultural center is going to go on.
Okay, let our clerk tell us how many it says.
The ordinance says 2.51 acre tract of land.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look.
No, it doesn't. It says 3.2. It says
3.2, not on mine.
Are we talking about ordinance 4?
No.
Which ordinance we talking about?
We're talking about 001. It's 001.
Okay, I can't hear. If you tell me which ordinance.
Okay, it's ordinance about the culture center, Ms. Fedger.
Okay. If it's the culture center, it's saying 3.29 acres tract of land.
That's what I said. And so the bottom line, we can go back and forth here a bit longer, but all parties in mind are involved. Tomorrow, Mr. Mansour, the next day, whenever, they said, let them get time to look at this matter and see if it's a misprint and we need to readdress it. We can do that because we can go back and forth for a while yet here. So let them look into it and see if the number's correct. Okay? Mr. Collins?
We can certainly look into that and make sure it's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know in the beginning because I started out and I know it's 5.2 altogether. And where it might have got screwed up, the View Tribe paid me for 3.2 because it was my land. And I donated them 2 acres. When the surveyors come out, Mr. Davis come out, he did it all at one time, then I turned it into y'all.
Okay, well let's just look at it legally and see what they need to do, and then we'll get a better understanding. And if we need to readdress it, we'll readdress it.
But did we get approved? The way I understand,
answer with this readdressing it, we should not have to go through another whole 30 days of this, that, and the other.
Yeah, we will. We will.
Say what now?
I'm saying, no, you asking the lawyer, so I'm being quiet, and then after the lawyer speaks, I'm going to hear the lawyer.
Research, and then once, if it's an error, we'll correct it.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm trying to say something.
Okay, now, we're going to back up to last month whenever I abstained from voting because Mr. Collins was married to my wife's sister, and at that time, I was informed that he had donated this 3.29 acres, and I made it clear at that time that I would go ahead and vote in favor of it, but we didn't get to vote again, but it was part of the record that because of kinship, I abstained, but now heard Mr. Collins say that the Butte Tribe purchased that 3.29 acres from him, and he donated another additional 2, so I don't want to get in trouble for voting on something like this, so we'll look at that as well.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Page, we have it recognized real quick.
Go ahead, Mr. David, and thank you, Mr. Salter, for the record. That's wonderful.
I think what we have, honestly, is a fairly easy situation to fix in that nothing that the Parish Council would be approving would actually change the survey that was submitted. Basically, you've now approved rezoning half of the survey. I think the easiest thing would be to just, if we have to do it as a new introduction, a new finished ordinance, we just do it for the other half of the survey rather than scrapping everything and starting over.
Now that sounds good. That sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I'm good with that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Once you look at it, if we need to address it in any form, then bring it back to our attention. Thank you so kindly. Moving on to the next agenda, if anybody have anything else, we voted on everything so far. Now we move to the resolution. And the resolutions would be A, Council to consider resolution allowing the polling place for Ward 1, Precinct 2, Natchez Parish to remain as the Masonic Lodge 110 Masonic Drive, Natchez, Louisiana, until the COVID-19 pandemic is under control.
I'll make that offer.
Thank you, Mr.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you.
Mrs. Hoover? Yes. Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Ms. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Pass.
Okay. Number 12 will be other agenda items. Council to consider authorizing the parish president to sign and execute a lease agreement with Mr. Miguel Cloud for the continuous use of Mrs. Cloud property in Goldanna as a trash compactor station site.
Make that offer.
Thank you, Marty. Second.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover? Yes. Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Pass.
Okay. Number B, council to consider authorizing the parish president to sign and execute the lease agreement for Bayou Cometi land for continuous use of the property located at 6174 Highway 119 in Derry at the Bend site.
All over it.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover? Yes. Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Pass.
Number C, council to consider authorizing the parish president to sign and execute a lease agreement with Mr. Earl K. Gray Jr. for the continuous use of the property located at 153 8 Mile Loop in Natchez as a trash compactor station site.
Make that offer.
No offer. Nobody's open.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover? Yes. Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Pass.
Okay. D, council to consider authorizing the parish president to sign and execute the lease agreement with the McQuillan Property LLC for the continuous use of the property located at 6756 Highway 6 in Natchez as a trash compactor station site.
All over.
I'll second.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Ms. Page?
Yes.
Ms. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover? Yes. Pass.
Okay. Number E, the council to consider authorizing the president to sign and execute a lease agreement with Kim and Charles Johnson for the continuous use of the Johnson property on Holden Road in Natchez as a den site.
I'll offer.
I'll second.
That was Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mrs. Hoover? Yes. Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I'm sorry.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Ms. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Pass.
Okay, number F, Counsel to award the contract for the replacement of the roof of the front section of the Live Oak building. Anybody need any discussion on that? I have no message. Mr. Rizzo, you're a little bit on that, or somebody?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There are two bids in your package, and you'll notice they're about $2,500 different. The difference being that one of them has an unconditional lifetime warranty attached to it. And while it was not the low bid, we felt that provided significant value, so we put both bids out there. So I would imagine that you would need to have a motion and a second on one of these bids, either the low bid by DSW of $38,868 or the other bid with a lifetime warranty on it of $41,273.53. They are essentially, for all practical purposes, exact duplicates in their bid. The scope of work is exactly the same. The only difference is the lifetime warranty.
And that is a lifetime warranty?
It is.
I have a question, Mr. Page. Go ahead, Ms. Sauter. I saw a note on one of those. Do we have some asbestos up there?
Yes, sir, Mr. Salter. That was one of the things that took so long to get quotes on this. There is indeed asbestos. Those are asbestos slate shingles, and they will have to be handled by a licensed contractor and disposed of properly, and all that is included in both of these bids. Both contractors bid it.
Well, I saw a note on one of the contractors that there was he didn't include any haul off. What does that mean?
I asked the same question. Thank you for clarifying. It's actually he's subbing that out. He's not handling it because he's not licensed to handle the asbestos. So he's subbing out that part of it to a licensed asbestos contractor. He will handle the haul off.
Asbestos abatement company?
Yes, sir. And it's all and that is included in their bid price.
This says replacement of the front section. What is the other section? Is it built up or is it composition shingled or what?
Well, the front section is what we're calling the front section is the old Live Oak grocery store, and that's the part that we're replacing the roof on. That's the only part. There's that part, and then there's a little flat part that sticks over to the side of it. But this is the old Live Oak roof, Live Oak grocery store roof.
I understand.
It's not the 3-story addition that's behind it.
Okay, so the rest of it is built up roof?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, I'm just going to make a motion to table it too, because there's not enough information. You've got somebody else coming in doing something. So I make a motion to table it, and if I can get a second.
You don't have enough information, Ms. Hoover?
No, because he said it's another contractor that's going to come in. I don't have any information from the other contractor on what he's going to do and what it's going to cost.
I'll give you a second on that.
Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Chairman, may I be recognized for just a moment?
Mrs. Hoover? Yeah. No. Cheryl, no. I'm not voting for it.
Okay, you doing?
I'm voting against it.
Wait, hold on, Ms. Hoover. You voted to table it. Now you're saying no?
Yes, to table it. Yes, to table it. To table it.
The vote
Yes.
is on the floor right now, Ms. Hoover, is that you made a motion
Okay.
to table it, Mr. Salter seconded. That's what we're voting on.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yes. Okay, Mr. Salter,
Yes.
Mr. Page,
No.
Mr. Kilcorn,
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood.
No.
It's table.
Okay. Okay, that's the last agenda item. Visitors to non-agenda item. Anybody on the line that needs to say anything, they welcome to speak.
I'm not a visitor, but I'm not a visitor, but I have something to say. Chris, you did a good job. You did a good job, I want to tell you. Okay, that's it.
Okay, to the rest of the council and to the listening audience, please be safe. Many of us have family around this country now, and especially in the state of Texas, that need our prayers, and we certainly want to be prayerful of them and hope that we can get through that, even locally, and everybody just be safe. Thank you.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Mr. Salter,
Yeah.
Mr. Page,
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn,
Yes.
Mr. Cheekwood.
Yes.
We'll join.
Thank you.